Hey guys, today what we're going to be doing is looking at how to write a linear equation to solve real-world problems. So up until this point, I've given you a few examples on how to write linear equations. The first one is when we had like 2 points, so like an x comma y and x comma y, and I said find the slope and find the b value. The other one, when I gave you the slope, so I said slope was like 2/3, I give you a point that said like 1 comma 4, and I said find the equation. But now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on real world problems given just context, and we're going to need to be able to find this, either 2 points or a slope and a point. So let's check this out. The length of a graph shows the length of a boa constrictor, that's a big snake, relating time in weeks. And since the boa constrictor's birth, it has a length in inches. The boa constrictor was 30.4 inches at 8 weeks and 49.6 inches at 32 weeks. So I want you to notice this gives me 2 points right here. This is time, which time's usually 99 out of 100 independent, and we have a dependent variable of the length of the snake. We have a second point here. So it says label the x and the y variable. Well, the x variable, the independent variable, is going to be time. And they said this time is in weeks. And then the dependent variable is length. And that was length in inches. It's very important to label what units we're using. So the independent variable is time. And the dependent variable is length, because the length of the snake depends on how much time that's gone by. So it says write an equation in slope-intercept form. As a reminder, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Well, in order to do that, I need to find my m value and my b value. Now, this is great because it gives us a graph, and it already shows us what our b value is. It looks like it's 24. I'm pretty certain it is, but we can go ahead and find the change in y over change in x to make sure. So it's not like 24.5 or something like that. So if this is my x1, y1, this is my x2, y2, I can plug this in the formula of 49.6 minus 30.4 all over 32 minus 8. So now all that we need to do in order to find the slope is just to rise over run. So I can find these two values. So let's go ahead and do that together. 49.6 minus 30.4 is equal to 19.2. And then 32 minus 8 is 24. So I have a slope of 19.2 over 24. We can't have a decimal in the slope, so we need to figure out what can I multiply these numbers by. I'm not sure if this is the quickest way to do it, but I know if I multiply the numerator and the denominator by 5, that will give me an answer that is a whole number. So if I do 19.2 times 5, this will give me 96. And if I have 24 times 5, that will give me 120. So looking at these, I can reduce them both by 2, so this would give me 60 all over. Let me go ahead and double check this. 96 divided by 2 is 48. These are both even again, so it will be 24 over 30, which will reduce again to, if we reduce them both by 3, 8 over 10, and I reduce it again to 4 over 5. So 4/5 is my slope. So now that I have 4/5 is my slope, that's my m value. In order to find slope-intercept form, I'm going to choose one of these points. I'm going to choose 8, 30.4. So 30.4 is equal to my slope, which is 4 over 5 times 8 plus b. Now remember, I think it's 24, but we're just double checking to make sure it is. So I'm going to have 30.4 is equal to 8 times 4, which is 32 over 5 plus b. Now 32 over 5 as a decimal is 6.4, I believe. Let let me go ahead and make sure. 32 divided by 5 is 6.4. So I'm going to have 30.4 equals 6.4 plus b. So if I minus both sides by 6.4, that gets me my b value. And as I was correct, it is 24. It's just double checking my work to make sure. So I know where it's all crunched right here, but I found my slope, which is 4/5. I confirmed that my b value is 24, because you can see with my y-intercept it is 24. And that would give me the equation now. Y is equal to 4 over 5x plus 24. So if the boa constrictor continues this rate, how long will it be in 1 year? So remember, x represents time in weeks. So all we need to do is figure out how many weeks are in 1 year, and that is 52 weeks. So that's going to be my x value. So the total length will be, what is it? 4/5 times 52 plus 24. So now looking at that, all we need to do is solve. So we're going to do 4 times 52 is 208 all over 5 plus 24. So 208 divided by 5 is 41.6. And when I add that, it will be 65.6 inches. So that's how long the boa constrictor will be. So if we go and look at the next part, it says Elizabeth charges $40 per hour for guitar lessons. Before working with a new student, Elizabeth requires them to purchase a beginner's guitar book. Yesterday, Elizabeth charged her new student $90 for a 2-hour session. State the independent variables. So independent variables here is time and hours. And then it also wants us to state the dependent variable, and that is total cost, or total amount earned. Total money she earned. And that's going to be, so this is my independent variable, and this is my dependent variable. So how much would Elizabeth charge a new student for a 3-hour lesson? So let's go ahead and look at this. It says Elizabeth charged her new student $90 for 2 hours. Well, we know that it is $40 per 1 hour. So that's my rate of change. I need to figure out how much she charges that starter kit. So if the equation is the total amount of money she earned is $40 per hour plus a mystery amount for the starter kit, we can figure this out. So it's y equals 40 times 2 plus b. Now, I know it says 3 hours here. I'm getting all this information from up above. So it says Elizabeth charged $90 for a 2-hour session. I'm using this information in order to figure out how much it cost for a 3-hour session for the next part. So I know the total amount of a 2-hour session was $90. So this would look like 90 equals 80 plus b. Then I minus 80 on both sides to get 10 is equal to b, which means the starter kit is $10. Now that I have that information, I can go ahead and figure out what she's going to charge for 3 hours. So the total amount of money is going to be $40 per hour. She's going to be there for 3 hours plus $10 for a starter kit. So this would be y equals 120 plus 10 to get y equals $130 for this student. So it says, what is the cost of the guitar book? We figured that out. It was $10. And I just want you guys to realize that is your b value. And it says, write the equation in slope-intercept form. We did this already in part A. The total amount of money is $40 per hour plus $10 for the book. Alright guys, let's go ahead and look at this last one. This last one's kind of a tricky one. It's trying to trick you. So it says the cost of a party at Jumpy Jumps is $250, and this includes cake, pizza, and admission for any number of children. Now really quickly, it's trying to throw in cake, pizza, and admission to try to confuse you. They're like, oh, is that 2, 3, 4 variables? No, it's saying it doesn't matter if you bring in 1 friend, 10 friends, or 100 friends, you are paying a flat $250 for everything. So if x represents the number of kids and y represents total cost, write an equation. Well, the total cost is equal to $0 per kid because you are paying a flat fee of $250. You don't even need this part because when you simplify it, it will simplify to the total cost of the birthday party will be $250. So on this part where it says label and graph, well, if I were to label this, this would be amount of kids, and this would be total costs. Now, as we said before, it doesn't matter if I bring 0 kids, 1 kid, 2 kid, 3 kids, so on and so forth. The total amount of money will always be the same. It'll be $250. Now, I want you guys to make sure this needs to be a discrete graph because if it was continuous, if that green line was there, that would represent that you could have half a child to a birthday party, which you cannot. So we'll leave this as a discrete graph. So after we graphed and labeled, what is the slope of the line? Well, I went up 0 over 1, up 0 over 1, up 0 over 1. Therefore, my slope is 0. Now, the last part right here, change the context of the situation of the graph would have a positive slope. Right now, it has a 0 slope. So we would say it's $250 to get in, or let's say to get pizza and cake, plus $5 per child for admission. I think admission spelled wrong. So anyways, that would mean the equation would be y equals 5x plus 250. That's what the equation would look like. On this one, guys, if you have any questions, please let me know or your teacher, and have a great day. Bye-bye.